Hey.
Nice to have you here.
Thank you for having me, Stuart.
That was a great set. Thanks for doing that for us.
Of course.
Now, I am not a stand-up comedian, but is that what you would call your type 5?
Yeah. This is where I'm like, you should give me money because I'm funny.
Oh. So it's a little bit like your calling card. This is your...
Yeah, where it's like, this is, this is the stuff where it's like, I've been working on this for years.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that is somehow, a condensed but emblematic version of the comedy that you would provide in a longer set?
Yes.
Okay, that's awesome. So that is your type 5. Tell us, how did you get started in stand-up?
I was an English major. Woohoo! English major's where you at?
Join the club. Yeah.
Woo! And I took a playwriting class, and everyone read my plays out loud, and they were like, your plays are really funny. They're like, you have a natural comedic writing ability.
Mm.
So I was like, what if I just wandered into and started doing open mics? Like, let's put this to the test.
Okay, that's really interesting that it was a playwriting class. And that your plays were funny, but that didn't make you think, well, I'm going to be a comedic playwriter.
I don't have, I don't have access to a theater. I'm a poor person. Like, I have access to a free open mic.
You have access to a bar.
Yeah, I have access to 2 a.m. sitting alone with other lonely people. Like.
Okay, cool. So where are you in your comedy journey in terms of you're developing your set of material and then it gets incrementally longer the more jokes you write and get under your belt?
Yeah, so you start doing your 5 minutes and you're like, I've got a good 5 minutes. They're going ha ha ha. Then you start doing 10 minutes and you're like, this is scary and hard, like running 4 miles. It's hard. But right now I have 20 minutes and I'm aiming for an hour, but my short-term goal is 30 minutes, and then people really will, give you more money. Mm-hmm. More time equals more money.
That makes sense.
Yes.
That makes total sense. That's why the headliner goes last.
Yes.
They have the longest set.
Yeah.
And they're the marquee event.
Yes, exactly. I want to be a headliner, not there yet,
okay.
But we're like a little flower that's growing.
Lovely. What do you consider your greatest strength as a stand-up?
I'm not sure. I want to be like, I'm genuine, but it's also like silly voices.
Ooh, yeah.
I don't think a lot of people lean into it's starting with someplace genuine and then making it fun. I'm a little clown up here,
Okay.
So it's starting genuine and then being like, but what if I did this in a funny voice?
And then it might go into a little bit more absurdity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Great. Now, as I mentioned, I don't do stand-up, but I've done improv for many, many years. And so I toured around the country doing improv. So this is a question that I ask for anyone that has toured around. Tell us about the worst gig you've ever done.
Ooh, worst gig. It might have been, I've been bragging about, South Carolina and how much they love me. I did a gig
You may be the first.
I did a gig in Orangeburg, South Carolina, for 5 people that were smoking cigarettes, not looking at the stage. And you're like, how do I get them to like me? But I learned a lot at my worst gig because I obviously didn't do well at all. And then I watched this one comedian try so hard that everyone was standing around the stage by the end because she was that committed and that into it.
And got them on board?
Yeah. They were a bunch of old white men, and she was a young black woman, and they all were like, nah, we're going to turn around for her. She's that good.
Wow.
And I was like, that's it. I want to be her when I grow up.
That is powerful. That is some deep power. So the 5 audience members that were not looking at you, were they distracted by a TV, or were they just not looking at you?
It was a TV. Yeah. But they were adamant, no, she's not funny enough. Oh. I'm not turning around. And then my friend went up, and they were like, and then they all got up.
Fantastic. All right, so in your dream life, what would be the best stand-up gig that you could perform? Some people dream of Madison Square Garden or Radio City Hall. What would be the primo stand-up act for you?
I'm not sure, because I would love to be a road comic and just get an hour and take it on the road, and then I just do all 50 states. So I never thought of it as one singular act where it's like, wow, I really made it to the top. It would be like, I did a really good gig in South Carolina, then I did a really good gig in South Dakota, and then,
And then someplace else south.
Yes, yeah,
You did it in South America.
Yeah. Big deal in Panama.
And then South End, Loso.
But I would love to do more mixed art. My friends who actually are solo stand-up saw my cockroach joke, and they were like, we can see how improv has really like influenced your comedy.
Right,
And
because
how-
you do perform improv here
Yeah.
at Charlotte Comedy
Yes,
Theater.
yes,
And
yeah.
how does that work with your stand-up? Does it
Because
supplement it?
a lot of stand-ups want to be like, I'm just going to describe the funny thing, and it's going to be funny how much I describe it. And I'm like, I will not just describe the dead cockroach. I am the dead cockroach.
Yeah.
The dead cockroach is me. And that is not a paradigm I had before improv.
You should definitely get some merch that says "The dead cockroach is me." Those in the know, the Gayle Murray stands out there, are going to be wearing those T-shirts around,
Yeah.
and everyone will be like, "Oh yes, I see you. I know you're a Gayle Murray fan." Well, Gayle, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank
You are
you,
fantastic.
Stuart.
Star on the Rise, Gayle Murray, everybody.
Watch Late Night Regrets, Fridays at 10.